Two states have already legalized the use and growth of psychedelics. Oregon was the first to do so in 2020, with Colorado following shortly after in 2022.
In Springfield, the organization Dress for Success is facing a critical challenge as they currently undergo construction to enhance their facility, temporarily halting their donations.
Despite this setback, Western Mass News reporter Taylor Smith takes us inside the boutique to show how they're adapting and how the community can help.
Dress for Success Western Mass is facing a challenge as they are currently working to renovate their space. They work to provide free professional clothing and accessories to low-income women and non-binary individuals, but due to construction, their donation intake was temporarily put on pause, leaving them in urgent need of items.
We see a need for really small sizes and really large sizes, and that's in clothing, that's in shoes, and then we also see a need for accessories like purses and jewelry.
Program manager Corey Waring tells Western Mass News these items are crucial in helping women prepare for job interviews and feel confident as they enter the workforce. This summer and fall, the need for the boutique has nearly doubled and is expected to reach over 415 people this year.
People mainly come to us when they are looking for a job, or maybe they already have a job but can't afford professional clothing because professional clothing is very expensive. And then we also keep casual clothing sometimes for women who are in need of that. Sometimes, they have a fire or they're, fleeing a situation, and we want to be able to serve as many women as possible.
Right now, construction is underway at their location on Lyman Street in Springfield to create a new women's career center, but the boutique is still open in a limited capacity.
We're on our 25th anniversary, and we are loving it. We are just so happy that we are actually going to be able to function, like normal offices.
Now, despite the ongoing construction, Dress for Success Western Mass remains open for donations and is still accepting visitors. Now, the site's new center is expected to be completed by early December. And reporting from Springfield, Taylor Smith, Western Mass News.